No.
The Intergovernmental Affairs Committee will come to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderman Muhammad.
Here.
Alderman Gunther.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Here.
Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Narayan.
Present.
Chairman Moore.
Present.
The 6 present, you have quorum.
This Intergovernmental Affairs Committee and meetings have gotten almost ridiculous. And my vice chair is talking. But we have this on the table, and I've asked the mayor, me and the president of the Board of Aldermen have asked the mayor to consider some of her appointees, and she did. But I want to make sure that my committee is satisfied. And I get the consensus is what I've been doing is polling my members. And I get the consensus that they're not satisfied and they're not ready to vote on this yet. And I'd like to keep this on the table until tomorrow. But before I say I do this, I would like to have each one of my committee members to speak on shall we do it today or shall we do it tomorrow?
We can't
willing
call
to-
a meeting. We have to wait until 24 hours. So we can't call a meeting probably before Thursday. Mr. Chair, because we have to have 24-hour notice.
Unless it's after 1 o'clock.
Right, it would have to be late. And, Mr. Chairman, is it okay if I speak?
You're speaking.
I know, but I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I would suggest, I would hope that maybe we could do it Thursday, so, because I think we need to bring any new people before the board, so that people feel comfortable with interviewing the people that it would be any replacement, so that it won't be any hard feelings, and everybody feels they're on the same page and they have a say. Is that correct?
Not disrespecting what anyone has done. Everybody's been working hard on this. This is a very serious process, and we don't want to haphazardly go through it. I know Gunther has asked for a certain person. Ryan is not as satisfied. John is a little touched about the movement, so if we can hold this to Thursday, we'll conclude it Thursday. And I'd like to start out with the vice chair. Tell me what you think.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity for us not to vote these things out of committee today. I think that everybody will feel more comfortable if we have new nominees, that they get a chance to question them. This has been a strenuous negotiation process. I've been accused of holding up the nominations for my husband by the mayor's office. That is a bold-faced lie. It is not a mistake, it's a bold-faced lie. You yourself know that I withdrew my husband's name immediately. He was a placeholder. I've told the mayor's office and the president's office. I don't think anybody thinks this is funny, and we weren't trying to. I tried very hard not to try anything in the press. Every time the press came to me, I said, I do not negotiate in the press. It is a very bad way to do, and people often do that because they feel like they're losing the factual battle, so they start with attacks that are not true. So I'm really disappointed in whoever put that out about the mayor's office, and I will be addressing that more. But back to the nominations, I really appreciate you giving us opportunity to maybe invite the other people in, have a conversation with them, and our committee work together so that we will have a hopefully unanimous consent from our committee about what we're doing. And I think people are feeling that some things they didn't know about until the last minute. So I think it's a better thing not to do this until Thursday. Thank you very much. And I know how hard you've worked, and I appreciate all your effort. And I know it's extra hard for you because you're getting better. And so for you to be doing this when you need to be taking care of your health is extraordinary. And I have gotten nothing but a lot of cheers for the job you're doing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, that makes me feel better. John Muhammad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. thank you for your leadership throughout this entire process. I know how tedious and demanding it has been for you, but I am a little perplexed. This has not been an inclusive process from the jump. The mayor's office did not include aldermen or community stakeholders within this process at its very beginning. The names that have been nominated, I feel that some of them are warranted, and I feel some of them are political favors. And I must be straightforward, I am disappointed that the perception seems as if we have rejected 4 black nominees and we have not rejected any whites. I'm frustrated with that perception because I know for a fact there were 3 white nominees that we did not agree with as well, but somehow that did not get to the mayor's desk, or she didn't pay attention to that. I want this to be inclusive. I want it to be transparent, and I want this board, who's going to make these important decisions on our regional government structure. I want every community to feel that they are represented on this board of freeholders, and right now it's not inclusive. I'm disappointed in the entire process, Mr. Chairman, but I do thank you for your leadership in all that you have tried to do with this process. And I am optimistic, and I look forward to seeing new nominees all across the board is what I would like to see. However, I yield back. No further comments, Mr. Chair.
Alderman Gunther.
Thank you, Chairman Moore. Yeah, this this is quite the process here. I think it is very disrespectful to the people that are on this committee, that show up on time, that have shown and sat through 6 hours of testimony for 9 people originally put forward, and then here we are in the 11th hour and the 59th minute getting letters coming out saying that stuff like the letter confirms that the nominations for the 4 individuals were rejected by the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee or withdrawn. I don't believe that we as a committee have ever voted on, have ever rejected anyone, and I just don't think that the way this whole thing is going has been in the open and inclusive way that everyone says that they want. We're having backroom deals that the committee's not even a part of the conversation. So I'm happy that we're waiting until tomorrow because there are Thursday. I'm happy that we're waiting until Thursday because there are names that from day one that I think people have been supportive of that are not on this list. And I know that the new 4 names that are being proposed, you know, I'm sure they would be wonderful people, but we sat through 6 hours of testimony from these other 9 individuals, and we got to ask them questions. We got to know what their record was, what their history was. They had the whole applications filled out. We do have applications filled out for these new 4, but they're nowhere even close to being as extensive as the applications were for the original 9. So I look forward to being able to meet the 4 new people, interviewing them, and making a choice on them. But I think that it's really wrong that the way this has gone forward and letters coming from the mayor's office and from the president's office saying that the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee has made decisions when we have not been included on these decisions. So I'm going to sit back. There's a whole lot of things that I think we need to talk about after this so that on Thursday we can actually move forward with this process. So I will yield to that.
Okay, it's the consensus of the people that I call. I call everyone but Alderman Ryan, and I apologize because I didn't have your number and you called me.
Totally understood.
Later. But when I talked to you, Alderman Gunther, you gave me one name that you wanted to keep on the list, and that name is not on there. So we'll get to that by Thursday. And it was a consensus of the chairman to take some leadership and move forward. And after polling everyone else said they would stick with those names. Even John Muhammad was a little vexed, but he came around. So we can't satisfy everybody. We can satisfy some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. And we're gonna get this process over by Thursday. It'll be over, and I think we'll all be satisfied. Let's see who's after Gunther.
I don't have it.
15 minutes ago.
I don't have this.
Pam Boyd, Alderwoman Pam Boyd.
Did we vote on the previous minute? I agree with Alderman Muhammad and Alderman Gummer. And we just need to get where we need to be on this whole process. And everybody on the committee needs to have privy to the information and be able to speak fluently on their objections or exceptions and be able to follow through. And I'm hoping that we close this out on Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alderman Ryan.
Thank you, Chairman Moore. I would like to echo the sentiments of my colleague, Dan Gunther. This has been a frustrating process. I know that we're working towards what I think will be a fair and equitable slate of nominees, but it is frustrating to read letters that say that the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee took action when I know that I did not vote one way or another on any action. I've sat through now roughly 8 hours of hearings on this while we've been in derogation of our duty under the Missouri State Constitution. And it is frustrating to be, and the frustration does not solely lie with this committee. It is frustrating to learn of nominations through Twitter. It's frustrating to find out that the committee has seemingly taken action without any official action on my part, although I've been here for every minute of these hearings. And I hope that we can come together and push things forward for the good of the city. I think that this is, like many things in the legislative process, a situation where if we are all unhappy at the end of this, then it's probably a good sign that we've come up with a fair slate. I am also disappointed, I guess, that the conversation regarding these nominees has been so single-handedly about black folks and white folks, north side and south side. No one has bothered to mention that there's not a single Bosnian on the Board of Freeholders in the county, the city, or the governor's selection. There's not a single Latino on the Board of Freeholders. There's not a single Asian on the Board of Freeholders. We seemingly have removed the only openly LGBTQ member. There's not if we look at a true representation of the city, if we are trying to make this a cross-section of the city, we have already failed. Because we have ignored a large swath of the city that is neither white nor black. And with that, I'll yield. Thank you.
Well, on the north side of St. Louis, we don't have any Asians unless they're selling rice in the chop suey place.
That's correct.
And we don't have any Latinos. I got one Latino in my community. But this is a very polarized city. It's always been black and white. I know you're just getting down here, but the issues have been black and white since I've been down here 13 years. Polarized, polar, cold, cold-blooded. Unfortunate disparity, purposeful disparity. So I polled my committee people. Like I said, I called everybody but you. And there's no excuse for me not having your number, but you did call me and gave me your cell number. But during my polling, I took the consensus that this is what we wanted. I made a mistake, and I'll eat that, but we're going to get this thing out of the way Thursday. But you have to remember this is St. Louis, and it had a tale of two cities. And when I say I'm running for mayor of North St. Louis, we need representation, and just like we need representation on the Freeholders board. North City and South City, and we have allowed ourselves to be divided and be such a polarized place. But we'll get it together, not in my lifetime, but it'll come together. But Thursday, we hope to get this particular process of polarization and disparity out of the way, because it's still a very unfair process, even though I made the mistake of thinking that this is what the committee wanted. Once I polled everybody, it's still going to be the same city, because I've been there 13 years, and when I got here, I thought it was a crying shame. I worked on bricks, talking about the bricks and all the unfairness and the weeds 8 feet tall and the north side corn growing on couldn't walk down the sidewalks at all. And I thought maybe by now it would be in change, but it's gotten worse. So with that, I'll say I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Voting to adjourn.
Are we moving to adjourn? Okay, yes. Aye.
Alderman Muhammad. Aye. Alderman Gunther.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd. Aye. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Chairman Moore.
Aye.
6 aye votes.
This meeting is adjourned.